Hello everyone, welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name is Jessie Lee and I'm coming at you with video number 47. First, I have to thank all of you for your very sweet encouragement and thoughts and prayers in response to my Flosstube number 46. And I have to give a special shout out to Wendy. She won the little giveaway that I did back in the spring, and she sent me a very nice thank you card. And in that cards were some very sweet words of encouragement for my board exam that I was so worried about. And it really meant a lot to me, Wendy. Thank you. And Wendy also sent me a few scratchers for the Pennsylvania lottery, and I won 45 bucks. So I was sure to send my ticket in and claim my prize through the mail, and it was a lot of fun. So thank you, Wendy. The good news is I passed my board exam, so I am now an official registered sleep technologist. Passing the test was a huge relief, of course, but I must say, I feel like I was right all along to be intimidated to take it because it turned out to be super hard. I had diligently studied every aspect of sleep medicine that I could think of, everything that I had learned along the way to earning my associate's degree and more, but very little of what I studied was actually on the test. Most of the questions were super obscure and advanced, and a lot of the time I was straight up guessing. But I did manage to pass with margin, so I feel pretty good about that. And kind of a funny little detail happened during the test. At the very end of the test, there is a screen on the computer that is the review screen. It lists all of the numbers of the questions, and along the way, you can flag questions that are difficult that you would like to review in the end, or if you just skip a question for some reason, those questions that you've either flagged or skipped will all be highlighted on the review screen. Well, I hadn't flagged or skipped any questions on purpose along the way, but there was one single question out of the 300 that I had somehow missed answering. So that was highlighted on the screen. So I went back to it and I answered it. It happened to be an easy one. And then I submitted my test and right away received the result that I had passed. So I was all just relieved and jittery, and I did the little checkout process to get out of the testing center. And then I sat down in my car and it dawned on me that the question number that was highlighted because I'd skipped it just happened to be question 106. 106 is sort of my lucky number. It's the digits of my birthday, October 6th. And throughout my life, I've noticed that the number 106 tends to pop up in all sorts of random places during stressful or significant times in my life. And I just realized in the car that I think my angels sort of slid that number in there right at the end of my exam to tell me that everything was going to turn out fine. So that was just a meaningful little detail that just happened by coincidence, and I thought it was kind of cool. So in these past few weeks since my exam, I have started my new job, and it is really great so far. It is so much more comfortable than my internships were, that's for sure. I'm just in sort of a training period right now. I've had to take a bunch of boring onboarding classes that all new employees of the hospital have to take, and I've recently started some one-on-one training with my new manager. She just wants to spend a lot of time with me since I'm a new grad, training me on how to properly do sleep studies and just fill in scenarios that I didn't get to experience during my internships. And she also has a lot to teach me about the medical charting system on the computer. So this training is going to mostly happen during the day, and it's going to go on for an indefinite amount of time. So it's a little disappointing to me to still be in a holding pattern before I get to work overnight doing real sleep studies on patients. But mostly, I'm just extremely grateful that I'm getting this training. Every other job I've ever had, I was not trained well, and it was all trial by fire, which is absolutely awful. And also, my manager is so kind. She's not intimidating at all, and she's really invested in me as an employee because there aren't that many sleep technologists out there. They do not get new hires very often. So she's just really excited to have me join the team, and she wants me to feel completely confident in my job, and it feels really nice. So I'm just grateful to be getting all this one-on-one guidance in order to be completely confident and comfortable that I can give my patients the care that they absolutely deserve. So yeah, I'm still in a bit of a holding pattern before I can perform as a real sleep tech, but it's all for the best. And of course, it doesn't hurt that I'm a real employee now, so I'm getting paid for all of this. It's awesome. But I think the actual best part of my life right now is the freedom I feel now that I'm done with school. My classes and homework really took over my daily life. And now that I'm in my job, I'm actually way less busy. So now I just have all this free time and mental space to just do whatever makes me feel happy. Especially the mental space. Oh my God, I have had such an explosion of creative ideas. There are so many crafts and home improvements that I can't wait to make. And having my own paycheck now is a little bit dangerous because it's going to be tough to not just spend it all on the supplies on all these projects that I just can't wait to get to do. So I'm going to have to really hunker down and prioritize. Of course, I'm spending so much more quality time with my kids. We are spending every minute we can outdoors because it has just been such a glorious summer so far. And Tim and I have been reconnecting. Now that he and I work in the same hospital, it's given us some fun things to talk about. And also, we've recently really gotten into this board game called Wingspan. It's a game that's themed around birds. You can tell the creators of the game had a true ornithological passion. And not only is the game very fun to play, it's also just absolutely beautiful. So much thought and art was put into it. I really love it and highly recommend it. And also, I've just been doing research on the internet. I found out about so many shows and restaurants and museums and activities and nature trails that I just can't wait to explore here in my area. In general, I'm just feeling so free and expansive now. And there's so many things that I really want to do. And I just have to figure out what my new direction is going to be. I would really love to give more attention to Flosstube. It's really been weighing on me for so long that I haven't gotten to make as many videos as I would like to make, but I'm also afraid to make promises. So if I don't make my way back here the way that I've intended to, just know it's because I'm out there doing other things that are really fun and cool. That said, cross stitch, of course, is still my main hobby. It's just a real anchor in my life. I'm sure you stitchy friends of mine understand. So let me show you what I've been stitching. But first, let me show you my little baby kittens. They are running around my room here, being distracting. They're so cute. They want to get down and play and destroy things in here. Anyway, here is my temperature fish. This is a design I came up with myself, and I'm stitching it 1/1 on 36 count Edinburgh linen in the colorway Jalapeno by Fiber on a Whim. And here is a little closer. I recently finished up the June fish, and you can see that this fish is even more yellow because it's getting more and more warm outside. However, it's been raining an awful lot, so that has kept the temperatures down somewhat, and there are still several threads in my color scale that I haven't gotten to use yet. So I'm kind of in suspense as to whether I'll get to stitch in the colors that represent the hottest temperatures on my scale. I guess we'll see. But in the meantime, it's been really nice being outside in these more pleasant summer temperatures. One thing about this yellow fish is I had to make the decision to stitch the scale outlines in a darker color because there just wasn't enough contrast between yellow and white outlines like I've done in the previous fish. So I got a light shade of gray to go in there, and I think it works well with the yellow and provides enough contrast, but there isn't such a difference in the overall appearance between this fish with its gray outlines and all the other fish and their white outlines. And of course, there will be a few more fish in this row representing summer months that will also get the gray outline. So that's how my fishies are going. I think they're turning out super cute, and I'm having fun with this pattern. The farther along I get, the more proud I feel of this design that I've made. So it's going really well. I've also been steadily stitching High Hopes by Just Nan. Here's the design. I'm stitching this in honor of my late kitty Calypso, who was a tortoiseshell cat just like this one. And here is my whip. I'm stitching this 2/2 on 28 count ivory Lugana with Victoria Clayton silks. Calypso was a special kitty, so she deserves some fancy threads. And since I last showed this to you, I stitched in these purple flowers, the daffodil, this fence post, the beautiful flowering tree, and these foxgloves going all the way across. The foxgloves were a very different stitching experience from the rest of this piece. All of these little flowers you see throughout are pretty linear and repetitive looking, but these foxgloves are all confetti, and the pattern itself is black and white symbols, so it scrambled my brain a little bit to analyze this confetti part for the foxgloves, and I did end up fudging a few stitches, but you can't really tell. But I'm glad that they're done now, and I'm excited to move on to the last bit of this whip. I'm especially excited to stitch the flower basket up here on the top with the little butterflies, and also to finally get to put in the beautiful bird bath charm that is included with this pattern. And then of course I got to put in the cute tall birdhouse and the border on the top. I'm undecided yet as to whether I'm going to include High Hopes Grow here or some different words, or just leave this text part blank up there. We shall see. But I'm really satisfied with how this stitch is going. I think it looks really pretty, and it's been really fun to stitch aside from the foxgloves. But I think I should finish it up sometime this month. I also have a little new start. Here it is. It's these adorable floral kitty cats. They were designed by Doreen Jones, and she released the pattern for these little guys on her Facebook page as a freebie. Here they are a bit closer. I tweaked the design a bit and chose all of my own colors. So I highly encourage you to follow Doreen Jones's Facebook page so you can see the original pattern, how she designed it. But these kitties are very cute and so fun to stitch. I am stitching mine on 32 count white Lugana. I stitched this brown border 2/2 and the kitties 2/2, but I'm filling in the background 1/1 with beige thread to match the beige work bag that I will be attaching these little kitties to in the end. I have a new work bag that I bought for myself that I really like. It's made out of heavy beige canvas that I felt needed some decoration. But since it's sort of a heavy canvas, I felt that it would just be a pain in the neck to stitch directly onto the canvas using waste canvas for cross stitch. And I decided to just stitch this on this Lugana, and then I will figure out a way to sew the finished product on my bag in the end. So I think these kitties are going to spruce up and personalize my work bag in a very fun way. And it'll be fun to bring a little piece of my hobby to work with me every day. But when I saw these on Facebook, I immediately went into my stash and got out all the fixings to begin stitching these little guys. And I haven't spent all that much time on them. They stitch up really fast and they're really fun. So I'm excited to add these to my work bag one day. It has been an awful long time since I've discussed any stitchy plans here on my channel. And that's really just because I have relatively few whips, so what I stitch on each day never seems like that big of a choice. But I have recently made the concrete decision to finish up stitching High Hopes by Just Nan by the end of July, because I really want to bring back out my De Colores whip. Do you remember that one? You guys haven't seen it in probably over a year. This is it. This was a design from a vintage cross-stitch magazine, and I stitched up the border according to the pattern, but I replaced the poem that was inside with the lyrics to the Spanish folk song De Colores. It is a very nostalgic song for me that I think is very special, and I thought that the design of this pattern was just perfect to go with the words. All I have left to stitch on this is the backstitch. So I think I could easily get this completed by the end of August, so stay tuned to watch me finish this one up by the end of the summer. Well, that's all I have to share in this video today. Thank you all again for all of your support through all of my ups and downs. I share my life very candidly here on this channel, and you're always here for me, and I really appreciate it. I'm really glad that my life seems to be on the upswing now, and I'm excited to have positive vibes to share with you as I turn over a new leaf. Before I go, I must share with you the motto of my grandma, who inspired me both in stitching and in life. God loves you, and I love you. Happy stitching! Bye-bye!